let's think about this. If I could change one thing in Call of Duty history, like, are we talking story or are we talking like actual events? One thing that they did to the game, because there's two. If I'm going story, I would go one way, and if I'm going like actually like what they would do with the game as a whole, I would go another thing. I think all of a sudden when the time period of Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Black Ops 4 is really, really interesting. So what I mean by that is that I think Black Ops 3 might be the best Call of Duty game ever made. Campaign's not great, but multiplayer, there is so much in that multiplayer. The maps are great. The movement is great. The post-launch support, fantastic. Supply drops added so much replayability, even though I hate supply drops. And then all the specialists I liked. The abilities were really, really good. And on top of that, there was challenges for camos as well as specialists. Like, a lot of people forget that there was hero camos for specialists, something we would never ever see again. Not to mention, each of the characters had their own backstory. I think the bones of Black Ops 3 were perfect, but people got sick of the advanced movement, and because they got sick of the advanced movement, they removed the hero shooter side of things, which means that operators now meant nothing. And then they got pushed into this whole other form of storytelling with Modern Warfare 2019, which I like, I don't think is wrong. But then because they got rid of supply drops, then they have this new microtransaction model, which now the post-seasonal story doesn't matter. It's just all about skins. It's all about what they have created there. And I feel like because they changed so much so fast, we will never get any of those elements back. Like, people are saying that we're going to get wall running in Black Ops 7. I don't think we are. Like, I don't think there's, unless they go and put a roll all of the dice on this year's Call of Duty game, that is the only way we actually see that happen, right? If they just go, you know what, we're making like Black Ops 2.0, 2.1 or whatever, and it's going to have wall running. We're going to bring back specialists. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But I don't see that happening. I don't see like that we're going to go with any of that. But I think the direction that microtransactions went after supply drops is probably going to go down as the biggest mistake. And you could also argue that supply drops in the first place, because supply drops added a lot of good stuff. They added huge amounts of replayability. They added being able to unlock everything technically without buying it, but then later that changed. The Black Ops 3 supply drop system, after they fixed it, after the next game already came out, was actually really good. You were basically, after you opened a certain amount of supply drops, pretty much guaranteed a new weapon. But then a lot of that replay, like, they found a way to add replayability into the game without, with like what is the replayability now in Call of Duty? Like, actually, like, take a look at it. What is the like an event? Oh, okay, I need to get more XP. Like, the Verdansk one was cool, where we had to go around and discover things and make you play in a new way. But anyway, I think you see what I'm getting at. It's just the trajectory of microtransactions. I feel like if a couple of things would have fallen into place differently, I have a precise answer. I will give you a complete precise answer, because I'm thinking about the, you just asked me this on stream, so I've kind of put on the spot. I have an exact answer. What I would change is the way that microtransactions are done now. I wouldn't bring back supply drops or do anything crazy like that, but what I would do is I would make it so that the microtransactions that you can get are easily carried forward to the next Call of Duty games, because we're not going to get away from the yearly releases. So there would be less operators. They would have more story. They would implement cutscenes with them, and there would be skins for those individual operators. Those operators would carry forward year after year after year. They would set that in stone right away. The main thing that you would buy are camos, not weapon blueprints, camos, because then they don't have to carry forward weapons year after year after year. Then camos could carry forward year after year and just be applied to whatever the new weapons are in the game. There would be less weapons in a game, but more viability on each of those weapons. Like, for example, let me show you right now. If I was to go, and I know maybe I'm picking more than one thing, but it's like, if I narrow it down to one, it's the way that microtransactions are done and what is given out for microtransactions. I'll show you in game here. So let's go to assault rifles. The XM4, the Amy's, the GPR, the Krig C, and the Kilo are pretty much all the exact same weapon. Like, really, they are. So why have all of them in the game? Just to level up, just to say you did it? Like, that's pretty much it. Or is it to sell more blueprints on those weapons? Because, like, right now, if I go into the store and we'll just pick the first bundle that we have here. So we have this, which is a skin for Frank Woods, who's supposed to be in a wheelchair. I'm cool with that skin. Especially if this character carries forward, especially if everything's in a connected universe, you can do that. But this gun, this is for the Amy's. Well, the Amy's isn't going to be in, well, it might be in next year's Call of Duty game, but it might not be in the game after that. But you could have made it so that this camo goes on all weapons. It's the same camo as this one, but just make it so it applies to all weapons. And then you're not buying a blueprint, you're buying a camo. The emotes should carry over to all weapons. The reticles can carry over to all weapons. But if they do that, they can't sell as many bundles. Right? Because this only applies to like a few weapons. So I don't know. It's just, that would be the one thing that I would change. And then story-wise, I think everyone can agree with me on this one. If I was to change one thing story-wise, it would be the debauchery that was done after Modern Warfare 2 to the Modern Warfare universe. Modern Warfare 2019 is one of the best Call of Duty stories I've ever heard, I've ever seen, I've ever played. And then Modern Warfare 2 came out and it was decent, and they continued the story well with the raids, but somewhere along the line, someone came in and said, you're making another Modern Warfare game next year? Not the reboot. I would keep the reboot. The reboot's fine. I'm fine with that. And I think they actually did a lot of really, like, for example, mentioning Pripyat in the reboot, I think is really, really good. But then Modern Warfare 3 just took those two games and completely ruined their story. And I would just get rid of that game. Like the multiplayer was fine, I guess, but yeah. You think Ghost is better in the reboot? Well, if you actually look back at Ghost in the original trilogy, he didn't do anything. He was a character with a mask. He really didn't even say much. The only thing he did is electrocute the guy, or was that even Soap? Electrocute the guy in the chair on the favela mission with a car battery. Like, he didn't really say anything. He didn't really do anything. There wasn't really huge character building aside from Soap and Price in the original Modern Warfare trilogy. But because of that, you were way more attached to those characters. It's a video I could do in and of itself about storytelling. But anyway, I can't stream too long today, so I got to move on to the open lobby here. But I don't know. Interesting question, I guess.